The following executive report was recorded the week of Summer Jams orientation. For more information on Summer Jams jobs program, please visit www.eriecounty.pa.gov or www.gcac.org. Good morning, Kathy Stoltz on Channel 98.9. Today we'll be hearing about the Summer Jobs Program in Erie County, known as JAM, Jobs and More, from Erie County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper, along with Gary Lee.
Good morning, Kathy. It's always great to be with you, and we are excited to talk about what is now the fifth year of a program that allows our young people to find meaningful work, and that meaningful work helps to prepare them for their future.
And, you know, as usual, I did a little research on this, and interestingly enough, looking back, the whole summer jobs and the jobs program began clear back in the 30s with the WPA program.
Yes, you know, I mean, it's interesting when you travel around, and I've been to some of those places across Pennsylvania and elsewhere, and you'll see a whole stand of trees, for example, and there's a sign that it was planted as part of that program, or you'll see some other structure at one of our national parks, and you know, I think that's was the call from our community. This really started from individuals in our community saying, you know, that our children need meaningful work that, you know, again, gives them some skill sets and really helps them with kind of a career path, you know, looking at different career options. That happened in my first few months in office here, and there was people who said I should wait until another year to start it, but I said, no, you know, we needed to start it this year. So we started it right in the summer of 2014, my first summer in office. It's been extremely successful with over 600 young people throughout Erie County being part of this program to date.
And as I went along and looked more, it continues on with the WPA, and then Richard Nixon in 73 passed the Job Training Partnership Act. And then it continues on till, you know, the names have changed throughout the years, but different programs have been put in place. But eventually they turned it back to the states. So that's why Erie County government is running and directing this.
Well, you know, this is specific to Erie County. Not every county, of course, does this. Some do things differently. But we tried to create a program that works for our young people and works for our businesses because it's a partnership. You know, we obviously need the jobs to be in different locations and in different areas, and so we've reached out to our businesses throughout Erie County, and we've had some great partnerships over these 5 years with businesses that not only, you know, take these students in, but that truly mentor them and give them a truly meaningful experience.
Exactly. You were saying that about the skills. It's like, from what I read, it's like they give them a particular skill set that they can either build on or decide, you know, maybe that's not the area of their interest, so they can go on and look into something else. And I think that's a good way to do it. You have that little bit of time in the summer to explore. I think that's a great idea. So,
yeah, and you know, we start with a week of soft skill training for them too. We want them to learn some of those basic skills that every employer needs. And, you know, something as simple as you've got to show up and why that's important. You know, looking people in the eye, shaking their hands, writing a resume, having a job interview, you know, just giving them some really good basic skills that will, you know, no matter what kind of a job they have in the future, they'll be able to take those skills with them.
All right, so let's talk some about this year's program for jobs in the summer. If Gary would like to join in, maybe he could explain a little bit about how the jobs program works in Erie County.
Sure, thank you, Kathy. There are three main criteria for the individuals, youth that are interested in the program. First of all, they must be between the ages of 16 and 21. They must reside in Erie County. And then there are federal guidelines from an income perspective that they must meet. So those are the three major steps that they must check in order to be eligible for the program. And, you know, right now, GCAT, the Greater Erie Committee of the Action Committee, they run the program. They are the administrators, and they work very closely with the administration. We oversee the program, but they execute the program for us. And this year we're looking at 175 students for the entire county. And again, I can't stress enough that it is a program that is open to the entire county because we're doing this with county funds in partnership with the Erie County Gaming Revenue Authority and the Erie Community Foundation.
Right. And I did see, though, when I was looking at things, that it seems like the Erie City kids have been more active in the program over the years. They've upped their participation, and some of the county has downed their participation. What do you think that's about? What is the reason for that, do you think?
The reason for that, last year, it did go down to about 23%. Prior to that, it was about 30%. And to be honest, even with that 23%, because one year we had 34%, so even with that 23%, we're at about 30% participation with outside the city of Erie. The reason we ran into this particular issue last year was we really needed to get more employers on board. So GCAT has been commissioned, if you will, to really go out and to work very diligently with companies and organizations outside the city of Erie, and they've already started that process as we're speaking. So the goal is to get to 50-50. I mean, again, this is a program that is for the entire county. So we're looking at 50% inside the city of Erie and 50% outside the city of Erie.
And so the outside the city of Erie is more about employer participation rather than student or youth participation?
Well, you know what? It's actually both, but it was driven with the employer participation last year. But we can always, and we always encourage the youth that are outside the city of Erie to take advantage of this opportunity. I mean, sometimes the students may not know and their parents may not know what the program entails, but we're constantly encouraging individuals to go to GCAT's website and find out more about the program.
And they have some like orientation nights, something in that area coming up in the next few weeks.
That is correct. It kicks off actually tonight at Girard High School from 5 to 7 p.m. And then tomorrow we're going to be at Union City High School from 5 to 7. And then there's some other dates as far as inside the city, and then we have a couple more outside the city. For a more detailed list, what I would encourage individuals that are interested in the program is to go to GCAT website, and those dates are listed there.
All right. What about transportation when students participate in these programs? Is transportation a problem for some of the students that how do they get to some of the employers? And do the kids outside the city of Erie need to know that they don't have to travel to the city of Erie to participate in this program as far as employers?
Kathy, you bring up a very good point, and you're right. We try to match up the students based in their geographical location. That's one. Two, we make the assessment as far as where their career interests may lie. So we try to line them up with various organizations that would meet that particular need. Going back to the transportation question that you asked, it really, one of the things that we try to do is make this program as real life as possible. And we found that transportation is not as big of an issue, especially when you're placing a student in the area close to where they live. And when I say close to where they live, it may be a mile or two, but they have risen to the occasion to get to work and to meet their responsibilities. So we have seen that is not as big of a barrier as some may think.
That's a good thing to know, and I think in particular for the students outside the city of Erie to know that this is a county-wide. It's not just the city, and there are employers that will be or probably will be employers in their area that they can be working with. I think sometimes there might be a little holdback on the students' participation in the fact that they're thinking, oh, this is a county program, but how far am I going to have to travel and that kind of thing. I walked. What else do we need to know about the Erie County Summer Jobs Program?
Well, I want to address, this is Kathy again, Kathy, and I want to address some of the businesses. So from Corry, we have Corry High School, we have Dynasty Construction, we have the YMCA of Corry in Union City, there's Camp Halo, there's the Congdon Hotel, D&P and Associates, there's Evergreen Cemetery, Molded Fiberglass, and the Union City Family Support Center, as well as the Union City High School. And what we would love to see is more businesses, and I'm hoping that some of your listeners out there who have a business or who work somewhere and can talk to that business owner and say, could we take a young student in? Because that's the beauty of this program, is the more diverse businesses we can get, that gives the young people more of an opportunity to choose something that they might think they have an interest in and then see if that really is a career path they want to go down. So we're really hoping that some people hear this program, not only get their own students looking at getting involved, but some business owners who said, you know what, I could help change a student's life, and let me see if I could bring somebody in this summer.
That would be that would be great if some people would hear that and participate. How would businesses, what is their approach? How do they participate in the program? Where would they get in touch with someone if they did hear, if they hear this and say, hey, maybe we can take somebody in this year? How do they get in touch?
What we would encourage them to do is go to GCAT's website, and the information is there. They will click on the Summer Jobs and More logo, and there is a rollout about the upcoming orientation sessions. That's for the students, but there's also information dealing for organizations and companies that would like to participate in the program. So we would definitely encourage them to go, again, to GCAT's website and to obtain the information there, and there's a contact individual to contact, Mr. Ben Wilson. He's overseeing the program from GCAT's perspective. So that would be the best and most feasible way of getting involved with the program from an employer standpoint.
Okay, I just want to remind everybody that you're listening to Channel 98.9, Corry's Radio Alternative. I'm Kathy Stoltz, and now we'll go back to the executive report with County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper, joined by Gary Lee, and we're talking about the Summer Jobs Program. What else do we want people to know about the Summer Jobs Program for participants?
I think it's important to say that, we have developed the winning formula for this program, and what I mean by that is that we look at this as a pie, if you will, and 25% has to do with self-esteem, building up that student's self-esteem so that he or she understands that they have purpose and that they have a dream, they have a destination that they would like to reach, and we can help them reach that through self-esteem development. The other 25% is self-confidence, working with the students on developing the skills, the potential skill set that they have. They may not even know what lies within them, but we look to really draw that out of them through the work and through the opportunity of working with an employer, which leads us right into the next 25%, which is relationships. And we have really found that these students have really bonded with the employers and developed a strong relationship, and it has allowed the youth to get into a different environment, to get into a professional work environment that maybe they would not have had that opportunity in the past. And then the last 25% to the pie is aspiration and hope. We have instilled in these young men and women that as adults we do care, we know that they can achieve, and by knowing that they can achieve, they have developed their own hope level that they can go beyond where they are currently today.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. One last thing I just wanted to ask about was in the program, do you find students, do they return year after year for the program and maybe work with the same company or move around?
So we have found that we do have repeat students, and that's great because, and sometimes they go back to the same business, and other times they want to try something different. And that's all part of their career exploration, that they have the opportunity to do that. So, and the other really interesting thing is we've had some students actually get a full-time permanent job. So if they are out of high school and ready to move on to that career, they sometimes get picked up by the business, and it's really a summer-long job interview, I guess you might say, for that person. So that's been kind of exciting to see also.
Okay, so that's it sounds like a win-win situation. The students get the experience, the employers get to see what the people that are out there are, what they look like, how they can help and mentor them to bring them into the workforce now or in the future. So the program sounds like something really good for the county, and I would just encourage everybody to check out that GCAC page and look for the summer, is it the JAM page?
Summer Jam, and we also have a banner on the county website that they can also access to find out about Summer Jam. What's been so heartening for me is at the end talking to these students and asking them, what did they learn? Not so much what did they learn about the job, but what did they learn about themselves? And I've heard, one young woman said to me, I learned that I can do anything I put my mind to. And if we helped her learn that in a summer-long job, wow, that's a life skill, that you can't hardly put a price on. So, those are the kind of things we're hearing from students. One young woman said to me, I learned that I have to actually show up, that they depended on me, and that the day that I came in late, it was a problem. And, isn't that great to learn that skill? So these are the kind of things that we are teaching these students, and they will be better employees because of it.
Sounds like a good program. We're going to promote it, and we will have this on, of course, on Friday, and then again next Friday. If there's nothing else, is there anything else we want to talk about summer jobs?
Well, I think it's important to mention that to date, we've invested $1.2 million through our partnership with the Erie County government, ECRA, and the Erie Community Foundation, and over 600 students have successfully completed the program. And our success rate is at about 93%. We found that 93% of the students that have started in this program actually complete the program. So that is just an outstanding fact as far as working with this program and as we take it to the next level.
I guess one last thing I'll ask you, Gary and Kathy, is how long is the summer jobs program? So people have an idea, what is the time period from the orientation to beginning, and how long does the program last during the summer?
Sure. It is a 7-week program. The first week typically begins at the end of June, and the program is wrapped up by the second week in August.
After they've completed, what happens at the end of the program? Is it, okay, you're done this day and that's it, or what happens at that point? Is there anything further?
Well, what happens, first of all, many of the employers really have a celebration for the students, and they typically have either a breakfast or a lunch, which is really nice, and invite the parents and other community leaders to attend. As far as from a follow-up perspective, we do have a report. In fact, we have an annual report prepared by a research organization that provides us feedback in reference to how we can improve on the program and how we can bring more value to the region through this particular initiative.
Anything else, Kathy? Gary?
I don't think so. I just encourage everyone to go on the GCAC's website. If you have a student, have your student go on and have them take the initiative is always great because that's what we have to do as adults in the real world. And I encourage any business who might be willing to be part of this program to also get on that website and join us in this really important program for our youth.
It is important. And summer jobs are a good thing for kids to learn just that beginning stuff. It's not your job for the rest of your life, but it can be a good start in learning all those skills that we talked about today. I want to thank you, Kathy, again for being with us and talking about the Summer Jobs Program, and Gary Lee joining us. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.